First off, we got Teofimo versus Matias, almost confirmed for March 15th next year. Teo's last fight, June 24th.
Steve
Matias' last fight
Claggett in
in
Miami.
mm-hmm. And
And then
Matias' last fight is in November, coming off that loss from Liam Paro, but he's trying to get back into it. So, what do you guys think?
take it away, Dave. What you said?
Oh shit, man! I was excited for this fight, man. Going back to 2023, right after Matias stopped Ergashev, there was a lot of talk about this happening in early 2024, even possibly on the Puerto Rican Day Parade. I really thought that was the fight, man. You think about it. At the time, Teofimo he still has the WBO that would have been on the line. Matias's IBF belt at the time that would have been on the line. It would have been a unification fight. That would have been dope, I think. And Matias had that boogeyman reputation going into that fight as well. So that was then. This is now. A lot has happened since then. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Some of the shine has wore off on that one. Is it a good fight in 2025? Yes. But the bummer for me is that it's gonna be on pay-per-view, man. And I don't think it's a pay-per-view worthy fight. I'm a sicko. I'm still gonna probably buy it, but I don't think it's a fight that you're gonna get a lot of pay-per-view sales on, just because it's lost a lot of steam.
And that's where I was going. So with Matias losing, people like jumped off. Like it was one of those things where like people completely jumped off. He was known as the boogeyman. He was stopping everything. And shout out my boy Eddie, man. Give him my boy a
Eddie said he gonna take the hit on the interest and put it on Teo.
Hey, but you gotta understand. You think his reputation took a loss a little bit? Like remember, like just kind of like you said, he stopped before Liam Powell. He stopped 5 consecutive guys on the stool. And I've always said, all stoppages aren't made equal. You can get stopped on your feet. A doctor can stop the fight. You know, a lot of things can go wrong. But when guys are going to the corner, right? You sit down, your coach sprinkles that water. He's telling the coach, I don't want to go back out. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's
has
different.
he lost? Talk to me, Dave. Did he lose some of that?
I want to say, look, I think I think he's still the dangerous fighter. He didn't lose that, right? He didn't lose that. That didn't go away. He's still dangerous. But did we see some chinks in the armor? Did we see that he is beatable? Yeah, we saw that. So I think there's a little bit of calculation into this, right? There's a calculated risk here. He can be outboxed. He can be outworked. He doesn't have I haven't heard anything about him and Jay Panda being together still, which that was a big change in the whole regiment for Matias. Because remember,
I actually don't think he's with Panda. But from what I know, definitely from what I don't even think, because I didn't watch the last fight in Puerto Rico after the Liam Paro. Now, what does it say about Teofimo Lopez though? Would he get the credit he deserves? Because we know that out of all the young guys, he's got the best resume with Haney. Say what you want about Haney, but Haney got a hell of a resume.
He got a resume, yeah.
I got things I like to pick on Haney, but at the end of the day, the resume written in stone is a good resume, like it or not. Same thing with Teofimo Lopez. Would he get the credit for being a guy that now probably, if you ask 10 people, more likely more than half will consider him not being that guy? Like if he beats Matias, they're gonna be like he wasn't the Matias, before the Liam Paro. So it's one of those things where hopefully he gets the credit. I would love for him to get the credit. I've always been big on Teo. He's been disappointing me at 140. But yeah, if you got to do the fight, you got to do it here in Madison Square Garden. I don't see where else. So New York is the only place to do it. You put Xander in there, the co-main event.
Barclays.
You throw nah.
Top Rank won't do that though, man.
Yeah, Top Rank don't do Barclays.
Oh,
I felt that the Zone, going a little bit off topic, I feel like the Zone should do that with Berlanga. I've always felt like that should have been the route of Edgar Berlanga.
He should only be doing fights in the city. Fuck.
It depends, though. You got to understand the market of New York. Like, Matias is Puerto Rican. Like, he's a Puerto Rican that don't speak no English. He's part of that real Puerto Rican. Like, he's going to get that islander love. And Teofimo, he did good when he fought Sandor Martin at the big room upstairs. I was there. I covered that whole week, and it was a great week. You know, that whole fight card was stacked with Xander Zayas, Keyshawn Davis, Jared Anderson. Top Rank has what it takes to do it again. Put Abdullah Mason, put Shushu in there, put Xander Zayas, and put Matias. And then Matias is also a free agent, so I don't believe that there's gonna be a lot of stipulations, a lot of jumping barriers to make this fight happen. And I think it does happen. I think it should happen. And I'm
You know
picking
what? You know what's interesting too, man?
Teofimo.
Both of these cats kind of lost a little bit of their shine. And it's
But for
almost like
different reasons, though. I
right,
feel like
right,
for different reasons.
right. But this fight is gonna help the winner get some of that shine back. So it is one of those. It's almost like a crossroads bout if you think about it.
I feel like Teofimo just hasn't been dominant. Like he just got to bring that dominant. Like he had the first fight at 140 with Pedro Ocampo. Then he has the fight with Sandor Martin next?
Yeah, Sandor Martin was next.
Yeah, Sandor Martin. Then he has the stoppage, his only stoppage at 140 against Pedro Ocampo.
He didn't look that great in that one either.
I didn't think he looked that great either. I felt like the stoppage is actually premature. So he stops Pedro Ocampo. That's his debut at 140. I feel like he lost to Sandor Martin, 100%. Right? But then he bounces back and he has that legendary performance with Josh Taylor. Me and Reggie was there, Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend, June 10th. The Garden was on fire, the highest record gave for the Hulu Theater, surpassing Lomachenko and Pedraza. Then he goes against Jermaine Ortiz. I feel like he lost that fight. Even though Jermaine Ortiz didn't take it from the champion, I feel like he lost that fight. Then he has another fight with Steve Claggett. So I haven't seen that Teofimo that used to wow me. Like my chips was on Teofimo. If you asked me 2 years ago, yo, Chris, who beats the Javante? I was saying it was gonna be Teofimo. He was ready for the smoke, but I'm still this style definitely favors Teofimo Lopez, and I will take Teofimo Lopez to have a virtuoso creme de la creme type performance. Who knows? And then he might dip, and then he might dip right down because that's been his problem. He's always fought to his competition. He's always fought to the level of his.
Yeah. No, I agree with that point for sure. But you know what also brings some intrigue into this? This will be his first fight under Eddie Reynoso. So you've got the filling out process with the new camp. How's Teofimo gonna look under the Reynoso's guidance? I feel like he already has like that similar boxer puncher style, kind of counter punching style that Reynoso likes to push on his fighters. But how is that team gonna look? Like, how's that matchup gonna look on the Teofimo side?
And that's good. And that's good that you bring it up. Now, what? Because like from what I feel with Eddie Reynoso, I feel like it's only Canelo that works for him. Like I don't feel like that Canelo style works for Valdez. Like I've never really seen improvement on Valdez's game. Like, is it one of those things where it comes? I feel like that could backfire on him. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you got to use his attributes, and then considering that he's not that same that destroyer that he was at 135, at 140. I don't know. Maybe if he was at 135, I think I would be all in on Teofimo with Eddie Reynoso. But it's one of those things you're gonna have to prove it to me. And then even with the performances as of late, he still got to prove it to me. Teofimo, you my guy, but you fucking up right now, my boy. I'm
gonna push back a little bit on that because I agree with you. It didn't work for Valdez. But if you look back in the training montages, right, or go in the locker room whenever Eddie's warming up with Valdez, what is Valdez doing, bro? He's jabbing, moving his head. You not staying stiff. But when he fights, you don't see that. You don't see none of that. And you could tell that stuff they work on in the gym because they got the routine down. They got the whole shit. When he goes in the boxing ring, he's trying to catch and shoot. He's just catching and shooting. That's all. He resorts back to that, almost like in a panic. Like, this is what I know how to do, and this is what's been effective for me in the past. So I won't blame Reynoso for that 100%. I think that's Like the Valdez, I think Valdez shoulders that responsibility for that, man. Teofimo, on the other hand, I think he has that natural, almost that's part of his natural style. The head movement, trying to be, athletic, counterpunching, and then he can try to pressure you too. The one thing that I think is lacking from Teofimo's game is being effective when he's pressing on you and cutting off the ring. Right? Knowing how to cut off a ring on someone that's trying to move on you. That's a big thing that he's missing, man. And I think Reynoso can get that.
I feel like the art of cutting the ring off has been lost in boxing
100%.
for several years now. I feel like that's something that they don't teach now, the art of cutting the ring off. But then can we say that this will be like the most athletic fighter that Eddie Reynoso has had? Because Canelo's definitely not athletic, far from athletic.
He's slick.
All of his fighters are actually flat-footed. So being with a guy that's actually can fight on his toes and can fight going backwards, obviously not underestimating the tutelage and the the awareness and the coaching savviness of Eddie Reynoso, but how would he adapt to a guy like that? Because all of his guys, other than the Puerto Rican kid, mostly all of these guys are flat-footed. Canelo's flat-footed. Valdez is flat-footed.
Mata.
The other, what was the other guy that he had at 122? He was flat-footed. Most of his guys are flat-footed.
Yeah.
So it's actually it'd be actually kind of interesting to see him with a guy that brings that kind of skill set and see what can he use out of that skill set.
Yeah, I think, man, it gives him more to work with. You know what I'm saying? I think it gives him more to work with. A fighter that has that much more ability, you can say, yo, how do we fit this into your training program? So I think it's like giving a mechanic more tools to work on the engine. I think it's going to be a plus for Reynoso. But that's right, man. We haven't seen him with a fighter that could move like Teofimo could fight on that back foot. I think it's going to be a good thing, though. I think we have to wait and see, obviously. But I'm hopeful because if you remember, Teofimo used to work with, what was that cat, Joey Gamache. He was with Joey Gamache at 135. And then they had a falling out or whatever, and they didn't work together anymore. But Teofimo looked really good under Joey Gamache. So he hasn't had a real solid trainer since then.
Only thing that I do give Teofimo, and I also give the credit to his dad, willing to step back. But behind the scenes, we don't know how he is. So what kind of stepping back is he doing? Is he fully stepping back? Like one of the fighters, to go on off topic, one of the fighters I felt should have let his dad go early in his career was Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good one.
Is Teofimo kind of on that boat? Like his father probably feels like, I could take a step back, but I'm not gonna recline on the chair. I'm gonna take a step back. I could let you patch the holes that he's missing, but I won't let you take full control of the wheel. And then considering Eddie Reynoso, he's had the best fighter arguably in the world, and then Valdez, no slouch at his division, 2 division world champion, Olympian. So he's had his great share of fighters. So
multiple
do
champs.
they
Multiple
mesh
champs.
also? He's at multiple champs, so do they mesh? That's one of the things that's going to happen. Do they mesh?
Putazos y Pendejadas Podcast.